Wow. So most founders will be told when you're in the early stages of building a product, and I just had this conversation with a bunch of founders in my community just a few days ago, where it was like, we need to be doing outbound. We need to be doing more outbound because SEO is great, but SEO isn't going to pay back for 6 months, 9 months, whatever. But you guys started doing that very early on, and you started getting results from that. So what was it that you were doing differently?
We started doing outbound mid last year. So that's what we have done, like literally mid last year. Before that, everything we have done was pure inbound. And the way we see that is that people that have a problem search for a solution. If you can be in the number one or second spot, you will be the de facto solution that they are going to at least try. And then your product needs to be spot on. So we focused on building the product because we were solving our own problems already. And we didn't have the pressure to actually make money at the time because we were just becoming profitable because of the projects we've built before. And also because of the users that just came in from the first couple of articles. So we're really, really fortunate in that position because it allowed us to actually build a complete onboarding flow where they didn't need us to onboard them. So we didn't need to outbound and onboard people because they were just able to register, try it out, like it or not, and then subscribe or not, right? So that was our big luck in that regard. And it allowed us to actually bootstrap for like two and a half years from basically nothing. And like with purely inbound, we still hit that 1 million ARR mark. And I'm not sure if we did something different. I guess because our product was in this hype kind of niche of headless, of that headless movement. We just were really lucky on the timing. Plus the product is not so bad because they really liked it.
Yeah, that helps when the product, people like the product. And I think also the fact that you mentioned that you were going after long tail keywords is also relevant because, and I think if people aren't familiar with it, I don't know, we can give an example and say headless CMS might be a more competitive keyword. Using headless CMS with Django on Python would probably be a long tail keyword because fewer people are going to be searching for that. There's going to be less competition. So you've got a better chance of ranking for that quickly. You're not going to get tens of thousands of people doing that, but you will get people there. So I think that going after long tail keywords, great. And, I think everyone should try to do that in whatever they're doing. Let's talk about a little problem that you also had, which was a typo in your name. Like, just tell us the story about Storyblok and getting the domain and stuff.
Yeah, if you like hear the name Storyblok, you instantly think about STORYBLOCK. But the problem was that this C on the block side, the domain was already gone. So we wanted to have a .com domain, and we said we really like the name because of the idea of storytelling with blocks. So we don't want to just like move it away. Like we don't want to take any other name, right? So naive as we were, like back in the days, we were like, oh yeah, it's fine. We'll just train Google to understand that this is not a spelling mistake. It's not a typo. And like if Flickr can do that and all the others, we can do that too. So we decided to, okay, Storyblok is fine without the C. And there's so many problems if you do that. So the first one is it took us about 3 months for Google not having this, like, did you mean Storyblok with a C? Writing under the search results that they are actually receiving or like sending out. And even today, and we're talking now 5-6 years later, we're actually spending a lot of money for these typo campaigns. So when people are actually spelling Storyblok wrong, so they can at least find us, because of course there are other products, but sometimes they actually just look for Storyblok or story blank block or anything like that. So we have now to pay money on like paid advertisement for people to actually find us. And we have landing pages and all set up, but it's pretty expensive to have a typo in your name, and you should think about it.
Definitely. And I think that, Google is trying to be helpful by sending people to the correct domain. I just went up to storyblok.com and there's no website there. So it looks like one of those domains that, somebody's just bought and is sitting on. And I don't know if you've tried to buy it. And
No response. No response. If you're out there and you own storyblok.com with a C, please let me know.
I'm sure it would have been easier to buy when it was just the two of you running a business with very little revenue.
Yeah, that's definitely a lesson learned. Like, don't have a typo. I mean, it's fine. You can get around with it quite well. And by now, it's actually a really nice kind of gimmick because it's somewhat different, right? But still an expensive differentiator.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about enterprise customers. So earlier you said we're enterprise ready. You have enterprise customers today, but it didn't go so well when you tried to sell to enterprise customers in the early days, right? I mean, from what you told me, you're actually getting interest in the product until they found out,
hey, it's just two people from Austria, or one from now Brazil and one from Austria. Yeah, it's really tough, Right now, it's totally fine. Like 70%, as mentioned, of our like revenue is from enterprise customers. So talking like 6 figures upwards in ERR per customer, and like banks and insurance companies and widespread organizations globally from like different regions, and we're talking 52 languages projects kind of style, like really, really large projects. And these kind of projects still had an interest already back in 2017. So they looked at us, they looked at the freemium version, they tried it out, and then they reached out to us and asked us, okay, we want to do redlining, we want to see your ISO certification, we want to see you fill out this 900 questions questionnaire for security audits and so on. And we're like, yes, we can do that, but just so you're aware, like, we're 2 people. And they're like, like the POC went great, the product is cool, and like we stress tested it, it works, it's really, really nice. But this is a blocker for us because they, of course, have a risk assessment and they need to do that. And by now we are fully ISO certified. We are in the process of getting other certifications, especially for governments as well. And there's so many, many, many things that we have been doing since then, especially filling out questionnaires. But back then, it was a blocker for us. Like literally, we got blocked because people said, "Hey, we love the product. Please keep pushing so you're getting better and bigger." Mostly bigger, so we can actually purchase you, because right now we couldn't. It was back in 2017, 2016. So that's why we went with not even bothering about outbounding, because that had so many implications for us to fill out those certification processes and all that stuff that just blocked us from building the product. So we decided, actually, hey, let's do self-service. Let's do a full bootstrap kind of move and move to as big as we possibly can with the smallest amount of people, and we try to push that as far as possible. And in 2019, we met again a person, Peter Larsinger from FreeVC, which is now one of our early investors, that actually encouraged us to at least think about VC. It's not bad. It's not so bad to take money to grow fast if you can. After a lot of convincing and meeting other VCs, we decided, okay, let's move out of the bootstrapping phase that we are in right now and flip it over to like tackle those enterprises we never tackled before, or because we suddenly had capital to tackle them, right? We suddenly had the possibility to hire those account executives, those security people that we actually need to have a proper compliant answer to the questions that we received. And that was what at the time we were still 2 people that time.